Okay, now let us get into this evidence because everybody and their mama is upset with what Meta has done. Now, let us get into what our credible source is telling us because you're not going to say I'm making stuff up or I'm spreading conspiracy theories. Let's get into our credible source, right? And the date of this evidence is Wednesday, the 8th of January 2025. Meta's new guidelines allow users to say LGBT plus people are mentally ill. Meta's updated hate speech guidelines allow users to call people mentally ill based on their sexuality or gender identity. The guidelines, which were updated on Tuesday, still do not allow Facebook, Instagram, or Thread users to insult people based on their mental health, except in this new specific scenario. The guidelines now read: we do allow allegations of mental illness or abnormality when based on gender or sexual orientation, given political and religious discourse about transgenderism and homosexuality, and common non-serious usage of words like weird. Now, Stonewall, the UK's biggest LGBT plus charity, has told Sky News it has requested a meeting with Meta to raise its concern. Now, understand that this LGBTQ spell that they place on the West, this spell has been lifted. So what you're seeing now is that a lot of people is jumping around now, trying to make it look as if that they mean well and they're there for the public, right? I'm not buying it because they were censoring people left, right, and center. I know that they see people's eyes are starting to open. Everybody's getting with the program. No, why is everybody upset that suddenly they are classifying, Meta is classifying these people as mentally ill? So you're trying to say that a man that wants a young child to be sucking on his nipples, right? That is saying he's chest feeding. You want to say that man is completely normal and he's not mentally ill, right? An individual that is taking pharmaceutical drugs pumped full in his body so that he can secrete this substance to give to this young child, and that is completely normal and we should tiptoe around their feelings. You're trying to say that individuals that dress up like animal and tell you that they identify as particular animal and we should play along and accept that, and that is not mental illness, we should tiptoe around them. You want us to accept a man with his male body parts in a dress and wig, and we should tiptoe around his feelings and say he's a woman, he's a real woman, when we don't know his DNA is the same. He's a man. You cannot change your DNA, right? Nobody is saying that you can't be what you want to be, but don't try to ring fence it. Don't try to have us tiptoe around these people and their mental health issues, right? That's their problem, not ours, right? And you have grown men who identify as babies, dressing up in children clothing and sucking on bottles of milk. And that is not mental illness. And everybody's in their feelings now that Meta is coming out saying that in their new guidelines they allow users to say LGBT plus people are mentally ill, and they are, right? And that is a much nicer way to put it. Over here, I say they are possessed by demonic spirits, right? But the medical term is mental illness. And people in the West has finally wake up to this agenda, to this poison chalice, right? People has finally wake up to what it really is, to the point that Meta is changing their guidelines because they realize what time it is, and people is not going to have it. No one out here is saying that you shouldn't be who you want to be. But this thing has gotten out of control. You see, this is what happened when you give the devil an inch, he's going to take a mile, right? You want to go into churches and get married, a man and a man and a woman, and people must accept that. People must accept two man and two women getting married, and then we should accept it and tiptoe around your feelings and call it love. It's not the same as a man and a woman. It's not the same. Right? And I'm glad that this spell has lifted and people is starting to see this poison chalice for what it really is. We need to pray and say, glory be to the Most High.